Hey everyone, this is Fernando doing another video for Modern Survivalists. In this case, showing you guys the Colt Defender tactical pen with LED light, which is this pen that I have here. Not much of a fan of tactical pens in general, guys. I have to be honest about that. I think that they have a stigma about them that, yes, they don't deserve it, but because at the end of the day, it's still just a pen. They seem to have that bad reputation about them, especially if you're thinking of taking this into an airplane, especially in US. TSA guys, they are completely aware of tactical pens and such. More than likely, you will be losing your pen before boarding that plane. So that's on its own kind of a disadvantage. Yes, and I agree with you 100%. How different is this from, for example, a solidly constructed Parker pen like this one? Really? Let's take a look. Really, is it that different? Right? Is it really that different? This is stainless steel, good construction. Yes, to a point I will agree that if I start putting pressure or sideways on this pen, I'm going to be breaking it faster than this one. But at the end of the day, if you're using a pencil or a pen or whatever to defend yourself, either one will be pretty much doing the same thing. It's not like one is, a deadly mass destruction weapon of any kind. This is, for example, one of my favorite pens of all time, the Cross. It's very solid, very well constructed. Again, steel, very good construction. Really that much different? Not really. Any pen, even a pencil, a wooden pencil, it's sharpened enough. When I was a kid in primary school, one of my classmates stabbed me in the wrist with a pencil, broke the lid, left a little bit of it there. Used to be able to see it, not anymore. But what I'm going for here is, it has that stigma, that bad reputation of it being a tactical thing that even though it may deserve it or not, you may want to avoid to a degree. Especially if you're going to be traveling around and you're going to be losing your pen every once in a while, just go with a solidly constructed pen like this, which writes great and it's very, very strong too. So having said all this, I know that the market is huge. I was surprised when I was looking around, so many of them. I went with this one because it has some functions, some characteristics that I find useful beyond the tactical thing. You have a glass breaker, which is a carbide tip, which is very, very strong. I would have no problem in breaking glass. Thinking of maybe evacuating after a car accident, evacuating or leaving, getting out of a building, a collapsed structure during a disaster. It is. It has that utility besides the defensive applications of it. Besides that, it has a small LED here. That it's not awfully bright. This end is pretty jagged, all with that theme of the tactical thing, right guys? All that knurling and that black or gunmetal color. Those seem to be the most common ones. Here you have an LED that is not awfully bright, especially if you compare it to a true tactical flashlight, which makes it pale in comparison. But at least you have a light. And going back to that idea of it being used during a disaster and emergency where you may need lights not as a defensive thing, but just to find your way around, this is going to be enough to see in the dark, especially indoors. You're going to be finding your way around a building after a blackout. So, it is. The nice thing is that being a pen, you will be having it with you for your daily, during your daily routines, and you still have a flashlight there. So if you're not carrying a dedicated EDC flashlight, which I know lots of people don't, you would at least have one flashlight of some sort there in your pen, along with a glass breaker. Solid construction, of course, uses an ordinary. Seems to be an ordinary ink cartridge. I think it would be like a Parker one. And you have quite a bit of ink. It's not like one of those smaller Fisher sealed deals that has just a little bit of ink, not that much. This one you have quite a bit of ink for writing as a work pen. or something like that. You have an O-ring there and some silicone grease. Not exactly understanding why, because water would still slip in there through the tip. How well does it write? I suppose it writes like, you know, any other pen. I find it to be just, you know, just a little bit too heavy for my taste. I prefer something lighter for sketching, that sort of thing. Maybe for making like signatures, that sort of thing, ticking boxes and underlining stuff. Yeah, you would have a good pen for that. If you're going to be doing like a dedicated sketching, or you write a lot for whatever reason, if you're writing a lot, then you would probably prefer a lighter pen as well. But being how solid it is, it's a pen that's going to be lasting, you know, more than you. So in that regard, yeah, it wouldn't have any issues. And I'm sure you have quite a bit of options for the different tips as well, thin, medium, and thick, for the kind of writing that you do. And you could use it in combination with the light, since it's in different ends. You could use it for when illuminating and writing like that. You have to do something like that. All in all, I think it's a good pen, not because of the tactical defensive applications that it would have compared to just any other ordinary common pen, but because of that, because of the glass breaker and the little LED light that may come handy in some cases. Guys, that's all for now. Take care, have a great day, see you on our next video.